Hi. Hello. Hello there. Wow, my voice is super scratchy. So, I totally forgot that I set my Twitch schedule thingy for 10:30 for Saturday and Sunday, and I had zero intentions of streaming this Saturday, so I really should have changed that. So I'm sure people who were keeping track of this channel were like, "Where the hell are you?" No, sorry about that. Um, So yes, I've decided that I'm going to make a Storytime Sunday a thing that happens. So basically, every Sunday I will, as well as giving you some news from my week, like you care, I will relay to you what has happened to me in the Tomb of Annihilation. Um, Getting to the point where spoilers are kind of inevitable, so I will be discussing things that are very Tomb specific. um, like last sessions, because last sessions involved a puzzle. Describing it is kind of kind of necessary. Um, but yeah, so you may have noticed that my setup has changed. Granted, granted it was only like one video, but my setup has changed. I am back in my room. Thank God. Because I was in the dining room for 3 weeks. And I love those guys, but I need my space. I need this space. This space is all mine. It's where I exist apart from them. And being in basically direct contact with them for 3 weeks was grating. Um, so yeah. Whew. Next weekend I might not be as exuberant about streaming. So O'Reilly's has been getting a lot of stuff to their DC lately, and something about Trump's trade war with China or something. And O'Reilly's is like bulk order everything. Like, okay, so this is my job at O'Reilly's. It's a pretty fucking fantastic job. So I go there. They have totes on the little pallet skids, right? Totes on pallets, and they're stacked usually 5 high, 2 deep, 2 wide, right? So there's 20 totes to a skid. I open those skids. I put that stuff on a cart. I go around. I walk up and down the aisles and I put them away where they go. That's it. That's my job. And then at the end of the night, if all the totes are done before we have to leave, there's this thing we do called vendor freight, where it's just stuff on pallets. It's like not even in boxes because it's all like bulk ordered, right? So it's like 50 of one part, or you know, and we put those away. That's what we do, the vendor freight, right? And the vendor freight is what's fucking us right now, cause like I said, O'Reilly says bulk ordered everything, cause 45, and so we're behind. Like, we're very behind, and they've only ordered more stuff over the weekend. So my supervisor, Bill, um, was like, okay, so we're gonna be working 10-hour days until that's all caught up, whenever that is. So yeah, now I'm working 1 p.m. to midnight, for the foreseeable future. And I'm like, because my legs are all already kind of like, I'm done. At midnight, working a 9-hour shift. So I'm really gonna be pushing through this 10-hour shift. And right about 10 o'clock, I'm gonna be like, please just kill me. Please just put me out of my misery. Um, but if we work all 10 hours of overtime, which will probably only work, well, generally we get off at like 10 till, the actual thing. Sometimes a little bit shorter, sometimes a little bit less. So we'll probably only get like 9 something hours of, maybe 8.9 hours of overtime. But the overtime alone is gonna pay next month's rent. So there's that. And that's just next week. Like, that's not even counting this week, which we got 40 hours plus. So it's gonna be a good paycheck, but I'm gonna be too tired to spend it on anything except food and coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna be buying coffee all this week because I'm gonna wake up at 11 a.m. I'm going to stare at the ceiling in existential dread for like 20 minutes. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna get ready for work, and then I'm gonna go and exist. And then I'm gonna come home at 12:30, eat something, and go to bed. Horrible way to live. But anyway, but that money though. So the donation thing is there, but you can ignore it because I'm not gonna be hurting. So yeah, and then like half of that is just gonna go right into savings, um, which is fine because I'll still have like $400 left. That's nice. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. And now, Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons. So, um, last we left off, we were in a enormous puzzle room, and so like, here's the situation. To get to this control room for this puzzle, we went through one room that was basically they're all pentagonal. Okay, so these pentagonal rooms, and one had like walls of riveted iron, which were like, are they magnetic? Please don't take our stuff. Um, and and it had like basically a bunch of rotting vegetation in the middle with a rusty sprinkler. And we're like, let's not touch anything in here. So we bypass this room, we get around, and we go into the next room, which is also pentagonal. And it's got stone reliefs of black dragons, and it smells caustic in here. And we're like, well, we don't want none of this either. But then in the next through the next opening, because yeah, through the next opening, there's a control room, right? And on the wall are 5 sets of 3 pentagonal rooms, and they're set up in such a way as basically these are the diagrams of the positions of 3 rooms. There's 3. We didn't have access to the third one, so whatever. And Bartholomew hears in his head, hold on, if you give me some time to study this, I think I can get it, because and the control panel is set up. There's a blue knob with 3 notches, a red knob with 3 notches, a blue button, a red button, and a lever with a star on it. Okay, and the pentagonal diagrams all have symbols at certain spots, and the symbols stay at those spots for each of the diagrams. And so there's like a star, and the star is basically the control room. So we're in the star right now. So Arrakis is staring at the diagrams. Just imagine like smoke coming out of her ears because she's overtaxing her brain, and Demiurge, is like, fuck that shit, break it, Well, Wong, the god that's possessing him, is like, fuck that shit, just smash it. And Demiurge is like, I just leave. I leave the room. And we're like, yeah, okay. Because we're kind of done with Demiurge, When it's not, Rick's fault, right? Or he's playing Demiurge the way that he needs to be playing Demiurge given Demiurge's circumstances. He's playing him perfectly. But we're all kind of done with him. And so he leaves, and we're like, yeah, okay, that's about par for the course. Thanks for help. Artis is doing nothing. Brothazar and Bartholomew decide that they're going to after about an hour uh, the the god in Bartholomew's head is just like, you know what? I don't have anything. I got nothing. And my, you know, passenger is offering no advice whatsoever. He's disinterested. But so Aaron is just like, maybe, hmm, but what if, hmm, you know, we're all pretty stupid. Some of us are average. Uh, Aaron and Brothazar are average. The rest of us are dumb. So Arrakis is busy staring at the configurations, and Bartholomew is like, okay, I'm gonna turn this red knob. And so Tyler's like, okay, you turn it. Which way do you turn it? And he's like, to the right. And so he turns it to the right. It goes. It There's a click, and he lets go of it, and it snaps back to the middle position, which I think is just the thing that they do. And then nothing happens. And they're all like, hmm, So he does it again, right? And then we all hear this telepathic voice in our head. My roommates are being unnecessarily loud. Um, then we all hear this telepathic voice in our head is just like, what is it now? Like, and we're all like, what? And, you know, we're just like, we have a conversation with this psychic voice who quickly determines that we are not the person who is supposed to be there. They don't particularly seem to care, though. They just keep answering all of our questions. And, and, uh, and then, at some point he says, well, don't forget the lever. And I'm like, oh, maybe we're supposed to pull the lever. So, so Bartholomew pulls the lever, and there's these three pipes in the room that we've been ignoring because they don't really do anything. But they immediately start spewing slime. And, uh, and, oh no. I pulled the lever. They were talking to it, and we were discussing what we're going to do next, and I walked over and just pulled the lever. And since I was standing right there and Bartholomew hadn't moved, we both got hit with um, psionic aboleth slime. We took some psychic damage, and then everyone was like, "Well, time to get out!" Well, actually, I think they already left, but we turn around to go, and there's a gate. There's like an iron gate, and it's descending rather rapidly. And Bartholomew is just like, "Huh!" And I failed my dexterity check because my modifier is +2, and so I'm stuck on one side, and Bartholomew is being Bartholomew is being crushed. Like he took like 30 damage, I think, from the initial. I know. Thank you. Sorry, my alarm, which I have to adjust because I'm not going to be here at 11:45 for this week. Um. Anyway. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. No. So he's being crushed, and I'm like, well, obviously I want to, help him get out of there. Only I don't make a very good strength save even with my +6, so I can't get it off of him or anything like that. And then everybody else comes over and tries to, and there's slime slowly filling the room. It's creeping towards us. It's like lava quickness. You know, it's still going at a pretty like. It's just gonna get to us quickly. And all of us together managed to get the gate lifted enough that he can wriggle out underneath it, but not. He wanted to like He-Man it up so that I could get out too, and that didn't work. But he was able to wiggle out, and so they were. Oh, the DM's like, okay, so do you want to stay in the room or do you want to try and wiggle underneath? And I'm like, would I even fit? Like, he's smaller than I am. I am one of two of the biggest, people in the game. I'm 8 foot tall and I'm swole, so I'm not like I'm not a spry sapling, you know. um, but he's like, it'll be a tight squeeze. You'll have to, shift it at some point. But yeah, you could if you go now. And I was like, okay, well I'll go now. And so he had me roll a dexterity check, and I got like an 18 or something. And so I was able to, you know, and I'm out. And that you'll have to imagine me horizontal when I do that. And, you know, um, we let the door slam. We're like, well, that was a thing that happened. And then we noticed that. Oh, excuse me. Then we noticed that Demiurge is gone. And some of us are like, well, I mean, he could turn invisible. And some of us are like, well, I don't think he can do that anymore because that was a thing that happened when he was possessed by the other god, and he's possessed by the dick god now. And so we're like, well, I mean, where could he possibly have gone? And then we noticed that one of the keys that we had found is lying on the floor, which means that Rick basically had to roll against his character's madness in order to be able to leave a key that we suspect is pretty important to the tomb there for us. And yeah, so that was a thing. And then oh, right. So what we Brothazar had fiddled with the thing before before the gate started coming down and everything. In fact, we're pretty sure he pushed the red button at this point, because like he's like, I just start flipping switches and I turn knobs and flip switches and push buttons, and Tyler's like, okay, well, let me roll randomly to see what happens here, and then the gate was the thing that happened there. But also the rooms turned. I can't remember what configuration they were in. It doesn't really matter because I don't have the diagram with me. But it was facing a different room partially. We still had access to the control room, so I think it was only configuration 2. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it was open to a new room, and it had a person in it. And the person was Rick's new character, because Rick was like, I'm done with Demiurge. Can I just bring in somebody else, please? And Tyler was like, yeah, okay. So, his new character's name is Monty. He has a longer name that I don't have down yet. And also, I roll to see if Arrakis will remember names, and she did not. She had to be told his name was Monty like 3 times. So, yeah, Monty. And people are talking at me. Well, I mean, listen. My mom would rather watch the Packers play than support me on Twitch. I'm injured. How will I go on? Anyway, yeah, so we're introduced to Mortimer, who is a wizard. Thank God. And so we're all like, he's like, well, that door is not going to open for like another hour. And we're like, short rest? Short rest. Okay, cool. So we're taking a short rest. And then Tyler's like, how far away are you guys from leveling up? Because we're level 8. And we're like, we were almost exactly 10,000 experience points away from it. He's just like, fuck. He's like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. You're all level 9. Well, we hadn't fought anything in a long time. It was all puzzles, and one of the puzzles that would have resulted in more experience points because of a battle that would have happened, I circumvented with luck, accidentally circumvented a deadly puzzle that would have accrued us a lot more experience points. But I saw a box with a keyhole. I opened the keyhole, and then we just went around the whole puzzle, and we're looking at the juggernaut thingy that's there, and we're like, let's not touch that. So, I mean, we're not particularly bright, but we ain't fucking stupid, you know? Um, anyway, so he's like, you're all level 9, and so we all level up. So Arrakis is now a level 4 bard, level 5 barbarian. And so I used the ability score increase. Somebody's here. Hold on a second. Oh, it's just Matt. Or, well, it's just Catherine. Um, I used the ability score increase, which is like, I think that's the first time that I've ever done that. Used an ability score to actually increase abilities. Um, I increased my charisma by 2, so that I have 3 bardic inspiration because I'm College of Whispers. So in battle, I when I'm even while I'm raging, which is nice, I can expend a bardic inspiration dice to do 2d6 psychic damage. I can do the damage, the only damage that I'm not resistant to. It's nice. I can only do it 3 times though now. So that, and plus then all of my we're level 9, so all of our proficiency bonus increased, which means that all of my skills went up by 1 because jack of all trades. And yeah, so that's nice. I got more hit points. I'm almost at 100 hit points. And yeah. Oh, actually, hold on 1 second. I have an audience, just not on here where it would matter. Anyway, so uh, anyway, where was I? Oh yes, so we're leveling up, and Bartholomew is choosing his new spells, and oh, I got new spells, so that's great. Now I can do Unseen Servant. His name is Beauregard. So and I also have message. I got a new cantrip. I have 3 cantrips now. Yay! And um I'm like the keeper of the spell cards because we have just one binder is just the spell cards. We don't have ranger or druid, and we don't have any of the Xanathar stuff, but we have most of everything else. So, and then the bard ones are mine, because bard. I am a bard. All right. So anyway, so we level up, and then we finish our short rest, and the door comes up, and all this sludge just comes like it just comes out, and then like goes through the middle of the room, and then goes out the other door and into the lake. Because yeah, the pentagonal rooms are over the lake that have the phosphorescent crabs, and it's funny because Bartholomew's like all of the phosphorescent lights just scurry to one side of the lake, and I was like, run little crabs, run. Um, but we go back in, take another look, and and then we're like discussing how we're going to do it without hurting ourselves again. And our new wizard friend is like, "Well, I have mage hand," and I was like, "Oh, I can do something like that too." And I do my little wudja wudja, and I'm like, "Ta-da!" Only unseen servant is as advertised unseen, and everyone else is like, "Okay." And Bartholomew's like, "Listen, you can't just make stuff up." All right, like flexomancy is real, but whatever you're doing right there, that's just make believe, and this is a serious situation, bruh. And I'm like, but he's here. It's Beauregard. And then Monty, who's a wizard and knows what unseen servant is just like, oh, I like Monty. Apparently, he's playing Monty the exactly the way that he wished he could play Demiurge, so that's nice. Um, but so yeah. So and then I had Beauregard go and poke Bartholomew so that Bartholomew would know that he was real. I was like, Beauregard, go poke Bartholomew, and he did. And he was like, bruh. Anyway, so we had my unseen servant go into the control room, and we're like, okay, so now what? And then we basically just like, we figured out that, spoiler alert, the blue knob is what turns the rooms, and the blue button is what makes it happen. So basically, you turn it in once in either direction, and the light on the wall under the configurations will go in that direction to the next configuration, and you just keep going until you get to the configuration that you want, and then you push the blue button and the rooms turn. Um so yeah. So we fucked around with that for a little while. Uh we turned it to a configuration where, because we wanted to get into that third room, and so I was just like, and we were arguing about how we were gonna do it, and if we should split the party or not. And I'm like, okay, let's do 3 groups. All right, me and Monty will be in the first group. Brothazar, that's Toby's character, and Aaron, that's Ian's character, will be in the second group, and then Bartholomew, that's Catherine, and Artis, our NPC, the love of my life, uh, will be in the third group. All right, you'll go into the middle room. She's heard them called pentagons, so she calls them pentagons, but she's just like the middle pentagon, and then we'll change the configuration of the room, and then you can choose who is the group that will go into the third room to investigate what is in there. Artis, you're in charge when I'm not here. And because like they were just arguing, and I'm like, Arrakis is getting bored. Time to take charge. She's got a forceful personality. I love her so much. Anyway, so they go into the Pentagon, and the second Pentagon that we have access to, and I'm like, all right, everybody ready? All right, cool. And I'm like, Beauregard, and I'm like, how many times do I turn it? To Monty. That's the reason I kept Monty near me, is because he's the smart one. And we both have message now, so like, and message is 120 feet, and you only have to know the guys or know the person on the other side. So and I know everyone, so you know. Um, so he tells me how many times that it needs to be turned. I instruct Beauregard to turn and I still have access to him because as long as he's 60 feet away from me, I can just tell him what to do. He doesn't need to hear me. I just say it and he does it. So that's nice. So he turns the rooms. Room number 2 is now blocked from us, and so room number 2 and room number 3 are now connected. But it's also connected to a room to the north. So all this green gas starts flowing into the fungal, or not, it's not fungus, it's just dead plant area. They're in the dead plant room, and so like all this green gas starts flowing into the dead plant room, and then all of a sudden 3 of the dead plants just go, and they're shambling mounds, and we're like, oh my fucking god. And then he runs his roll initiative, and I go first. I'm in a room with Monty. There's nothing I can do. So I'm like, so I use message, and I'm like, do you have access to the room yet? You can respond to this message. I totally stole that from Critical Role. And Aaron's just like, there are dead plant thingies here that are attacking us, and I'm like, oh shit, Beauregard, turn it twice back, the way that, and push the blue button, and so that starts to happen. And then Monty's like, all right, well, I'm gonna hold my turn until I can see something, dangerous, so that I can, use the spell on it. And there was some, game mechanics, I hold an action. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you have to specify what action you're holding, and he's just like, it just says hold an action, and I'm like, well, let's go to the book, and yeah, you have to specify. You basically say, well, I'm gonna hold my action. I'm waiting for this, and this is what I'm gonna do if that happens, and um, so so they fight, and the shambling mound consumes. Well, it doesn't consume, but it does envelop Aaron, and everyone's like, "Oh no!" Because Aaron used to play a blue a red tiefling that turned blue, uh, and grew a foot. Uh, Used to play a tiefling named Asmodine, who was like neutral evil. I didn't know that. I just knew that he was my friend. Um, he got eaten by a giant frog, and then Aaron almost died by, or no, yeah, oh my god, almost died by getting eaten by a different giant frog. And then, and now he's been swallowed again, and we're all like, please, God, don't get eaten by a shambling mound. That would be the worst way to go. So, yeah, so fight, fight, fight. And Bartholomew is like, I, your paladin, in that voice. I, your paladin, will smite thee. And we're all like, who are you? What? Who are you smiting? And he does vow of enmity against the shambling mound that swallowed Aaron, which means he has to walk past two other shambling mounds, so they get a tax of opportunity. But I think they miss you both. They both miss, Bartholomew. So he's just like, huh, huh, smite, and he does a fuck ton of damage. He got 2 natural 20s. He rolled all his damage twice and did like almost 100. It was fucking stupid. But it was still alive because they are, as Tyler put it, sacks of HP. So fight, 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 and then it's my round again, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna go stand by the door and wait until because it basically says that at the start of my turn, because there's 2 doors, right? And we were basically like this, and the other room is over here, right? So basically, the first door, is gonna pass through, and it's gonna make an opening. So I can try and make a dexterity check to get through it, or I can hold my turn and wait till it actually stops. And I'm like, I don't wanna. No, I'll just get near the door, and I'll keep Gertrude at the ready. Gertrude is I don't Gertrude is a 75-pound golden magical sarcophagus that I keep on the end of a spiked chain. She does 2d10 plus 4 plus my strength modifier, which is 6. So 2d4 plus 10 damage, bludgeoning, and the spiked chain does 1d6. I believe, minus your divine smite, I believe I do the most damage out of the entire group, which is appropriate because I am the barbarian. I can do magic now, but I'm still the fucking tank. So, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I'm ready. And Monty's like, well, I had my held action. And Tyler's like, yes, you did. What was your held action? He's just like, magic missile at level 5. That's 7 darts. And I'm just gonna shoot a random, bad guy shambling mound. So it's basically like, so he does some damage, and then we wait, and it's their turn again, and Aaron is able to bust out of the shambling mound, and he's like, Misty Step, or actually patient defense. He spends a key point to do patient defense, so they are at disadvantage now to attack him, and then Bartholomew, I, your paladin, will smite thee, and we're like, you're not their paladin, you're our paladin, and it's like, I, your paladin, pointing to like the group, and it's just like, it's so funny, because like, it's to the point where it's just like, I, a paladin, like, let me fucking do this, guys. It was the best. So yeah, he again smite. Well, smite, because he doesn't have he don't have boots of haste. And so yeah, damage, and then the room's a line, and I'm like, well, I'm in, and I'm raging, and I'm attacking. I was like, well, I want to flank with Aaron, obviously, and I'm just like, and I did like, I didn't get any crits. Did I get any crits? No, I didn't get any crits, but it doesn't matter because I still did like 30 damage because of that plus 10. Yeah, that was sick. It was a sick fight, and it was funny because like at some point there was a flanking situation that was it was me shambling mound, Aaron shambling mound, right? So when you are flanking, you get advantage, and the person being flanked because they have to split their attention is at disadvantage, right? So advantage, straight roll because flanking with this guy, straight roll because flanking with me, advantage. Because that's how it works. Which I discovered when in the session where I killed my other party, because in the other session it was Displacer Beast, my mom, Cambion, Marcus, Cambion, you know, like yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, so fight, fight, fight. That's pretty intense. And then we kill this shambling mound, so I combat roll to the other side of that shambling mound and fight, fight, fight. And then the shambling mound, you know, between us. No, Aaron kills it. No, Aaron killed the first one, and his madness, you know, gave him an erection basically. His madness is that he has discovered he really enjoys killing things. So yeah, now so like the first time he killed something after his madness, he was just like, which we'd never seen him smile before, so it was fucking creepy. We were all like, is he gonna come for us in our sleep? But anyway, so Maracus doesn't fucking care because she's in battle, and so she combat rolls, which is hard to do with a 75-pound spike chain wrapped sarcophagus, but you know, she manages. But she does get an attack of opportunity, it fucking misses. So, or, no, I think it hit me, but Monty's abjuration ward was just like, nope. And so I attack it, rah, 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 and then it turns around and it hits me, and then it hits me again, and when it hits you twice, it engulfs you, and I'm just like, I'm in it. But I'm 8 feet tall, and I have a golden sarcophagus that's yay big and indestructible, cause it's magic. I love Gertrude. Anyway, so everybody is attacking because it's like the last shambling mound. So everybody's attacking it, and Tyler puts on this voice, and it's just like, oh god, I've eaten too much. Ah, the flesh, like you know, basically, because I'm a hearty meal. You know, I'm a keep you sustained for days. It's basically like a boa constrictor that's eaten a meal that's too large for it, and now it's just kind of lying there, you know? But it basically is just like opining for death because it can't digest the sarcophagus, and you know, and it's just like, but it can't get me out because I'm like lodged in its throat or whatever, and it's just like, you know, he just keeps doing this voice, and we are just dying, and so is it, and Aaron, did Aaron kill it or did you smite it? Yeah, I don't remember who killed it, but it was just like, oh god, the sweet release of death. And then Tyler was like, why would I ever do that voice? And I was like, well, now what you have to do is make an NPC that is just that shambling mound's cousin. And it has to adventure with us because, and you have to do that voice because it's an amazing voice. Please, like, that was the best NPC of the night, and you know, my character's in love with Artis, so. Anyway, so. Oh, and because he leveled us all up to level 9, uh, Brothazar has Greater Restoration, so he used Greater Restoration on Artis. So Artis is no longer like 58 years old. Now he's back to being like 38. So yay. And he didn't use it on me, but because he can only do it once a day because it's a level 5 spell. But I'm like whatever. I'm like, you know, I'm not 17 years younger than him. Because Arrakis was 21 is 31 now. So she's like, yay, it's a little less creepy that I'm pursuing this older man. It wasn't as creepy back then. What? Yeah, I think it does. That makes Bartholomew the youngest in the group because Broth was our age 10 years too. And Aaron was already fucking old. You know, Aaron was already like 80. Yeah, so. Because he's a Furbolg, and Furbolg live for a fuck ton number of years. Anyway, so, yeah, so that happened. So we defeated the shambling mounds, and we went back into the. It was back into its original configuration, configuration 3. And so we went back to the control room, and we're like, well, how are we gonna get back to how are we gonna get to this third room? Because we don't want to split the party, obviously. And Monty's like, well, if somebody holds up an object, I can make a sphere that will keep that I can put between the control room door, and this pentagon door, and then somebody can turn it to the right configuration, push the button, get out of the room, and then we can all go to the the third room together. It means that, and the thing that none of us considered was that we would no longer have access to the control room. Although I suppose we could go in through the lake. Yeah. Yeah. Because the doors open up onto the lake when they're not open to the other rooms. And, so we did that. So, Artis and Arrakis went to the control room to, turn it to the right configuration. And then, Bartholomew has a brochure of Brohammet, and so he offered up one of those, and so he's just like, okay, Odaluk's Brazilian sphere. The door is jammed, but there's a space where we can crawl underneath, and so we're like, okay, click click, button, go 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 go, because it's trying to turn. And we're just not letting it. So, we shimmy underneath. We're like, all right, we're in. And he's like, Odaluk's Brazilian sphere is gone. And then he salutes the brochure, which is shredded by the sudden of the shifting rooms. And so then we have access to, we move into the second room, and we have access to the third room. So we're good. So yeah. And then, yeah. Oh, I think he had to put it between the first and second rooms, not the, So either way, we ran out of the control room, and then we slid under the Odaluk's Brazilian sphere baseball style. It was awesome. And then he released it. So we're in rooms 2 and 3 now. And there's more gas coming out of the room from the north, but it's like lower. And it's funny because like both Aaron and Artis went to investigate. Both Aaron and Artis were turned into Yuan-ti purebloods. So they are immune to poison. So to them, it's just fog. And they both failed their nature checks. That was funny. Anyway, so they go in to the room, and they don't really find much except for a guy who is wearing a yellow band around his wrist, which is the Order of the Yellow Band, or the something of the Yellow Band, and of which Monty, our new party member, which was great because like when we met him, I was like, "You seem trustworthy. Would you care to join our noble quest?" They didn't laugh as hard as they should have, I felt. Anyway, so so Monty is very sad because that was his commander, and he started describing like the rest of his party, or the rest of the people that he was looking for, and we'd all found them earlier, and they were all pretty dead. Very, very dead. Just so dead. And it was like one of them was in the locust room, and what was the other one?
The brown room, because it was the one with the goat staff.
Oh yeah.
That round room.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of led you to the same world, but not.
Yeah. And there was a circular path that went in a circle up, and we found his other guy in there, and so we're like, ooh boy. So we're like, that's awkward. Let's move to the next room. So we go into the next room, And there are 5 wardrobes, and they're all depicting different things. And then there's a door, but the door has got a adamantine portcullis. And there's these 5. Hello, person. Hi, how you doing? Um, there's these 5 jewels. I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm talking about the Tomb of Annihilation that I'm being run through, and there are some spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, I'm afraid this is not the stream for you. They're apparently cool with it. Okay, so anyway, there are 5 wardrobes, and each wardrobe is depicting a different scene. One is oh, hi! It's my dungeon master! I'm telling them about Tomb of Annihilation! So anyway, 5 wardrobes, each depicting a different scene. The first one was hobgoblins versus orcs battles, and the second one was fuck, I can't remember what the second one was. The second one was the one with the hag. The third one was the one with the hag. Third one was basically a hag with a child, so like Rapunzel, and then the fourth one was a giant clock, so Cinderella, and then the fifth one was a graveyard and ghouls, or actually I think it was just ghouls, a shambling horde of ghouls.
Second one was like a fire.
Oh yes, the second one was a fire, and there were like the screams of the damned and shit. So yeah, and then above the adamantine portcullis are 5 jewels in the shapes of drops of blood, and we're all like, I don't want to be here. This is nasty. I don't want it. And except for Bartholomew, who's just like, we gotta open this one with the skeleton. We gotta open it and slay the undead. We have to. It's our calling. Yeah. Well, actually, it would just be this, because, undead, holy avenger. So, yeah, so he's being totally enthusiastic, and Brothazar is just like, not right now. Bruh. Which, god damn it, I freaking love him. Your Majesty, bruh. God damn it. He adds bro compulsively at the end of his bruh. he adds bruh compulsively at the end of his greetings. So like every time he calls somebody by name, he's just like, Bartholomew, bruh. Nah, man, come on. But oh, hello, new person. We're talking about Tomb of Annihilation, and there's some heavy spoilers. So if you're not into spoilers, then I'm afraid this is not the stream for you. I don't know who you are, but just letting you know. They're apparently cool with it. So okay, so anyway, so Monty suggests that they give him 10 minutes, and he can identify one of the wardrobes, and people are hashtag spoilers. Annihilated. Demiurge was annihilated. Damn. I mean, he got fucked. Got fucked by the tomb. Got fucked hard. So, that's the tomb's purpose, I suppose, is to, fuck people. So, he sits down and he starts doing his ritual, and Bartholomew and Brothazar are behind him. Which is not helping at all. In fact, it's actively hindering his ability to concentrate, so it actually takes him 12 minutes instead of 10 to do the actual ritual, which is hilarious. Arrakis, subtly checks to see if there's a corner hidden from view so that she can spend 10 minutes alone with Artis, who's, not 58 anymore. And, they left. But she doesn't find one, so she instead settles herself down into a corner, goes through dashes/her belongings, finds her kalimba, which is the thumb harp. It's basically a little thumb piano. It's got like a guitar body, basically a hollow body, and it's got little metal tines on it so that the vibrations make noise. And it's a cute little, they're awesome. I want one. So anyway, she just plays music for a while, and he identifies the first wardrobe as having like a gate spell, so like something will come through when we open it, and we're like, well, we don't want that. Like, do we? Or well, something happens, something will be transported when we open it. We're like, well, we don't like that. Are they coming here, or are we going there? Either way is bad. So we're like, well, he's like, well, I can identify another wardrobe, or I can identify the drops of blood. And we're like, well, let's try identifying the drops of blood. And he's like, okay, another 10 minutes. And so another 10 minutes goes by. No. And, it's Careless Whispers on a kalimba. And, he identifies the drops of blood as being like basically it'll go off. It is triggered by something that happens in this room, and we're like, okay, well, let's just open a wardrobe. Let's just get it over with. Let's face this trap head on. All right, everybody, get ready. And Monty's like, I'd like to go. No, Monty makes the magic circle. So magic circle, he makes a magic circle in the room. So we're all in the magic circle, and we're like, oh, cool. So like nothing can come in the circle. And so Bartholomew goes and he opens the door, and 5 will-o-wisps appear in the room behind us. Will-o-wisps are like nothing, and they can't attack us because we're in the magic circle, and all their attacks are melee. Cue the epic battle of will-o-the-wisps. Oh, don't worry, you can kill us next session. So we fought some will-o-wisps, and I was like, can I just get them all once they're all lined up, right? Can I just like swing Gertrude horizontally? I did. We did. We murdered those innocent wisps.
I had a large jar, like kind of like catch one like a dragon.
Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, I was like, can I just get them all in one go? And he's like, do you have cleave? And I was like, I don't think cleave is a thing in 5th edition. So yeah, but I did when it was my turn. I was like, all right. I started swinging Gertrude around in like just a fucking helicopter death. And Aaron was like, what the hell? Because he's the only one really tall enough to be super affected by that. He's like, whoa, shit. And so I obliterated one. Oh, I missed my first attack because it's kind of a wild haymaker, and I obliterated the second one. It just, and then and there was only one left, and Tyler had the most entertaining like monologue about it. I can't remember what it was, but it was great. It's on the recording, so eventually, after it's all cleaned up and edited and stuff, you'll all hear it. It'll be great. So, but the session before that where I got to make the joke finally, where I start flexing too in the background of their flexomancy, is not there because I didn't have batteries for my fucking voice recorder. God damn it. Somebody's talking at me. Damn it, shut up. I'm talking. And, anyway, so we killed the will-o-wisps, and that was where we ended the session. And they were worth, like, apparently 450 a piece, which was stupid, because, like, they're nothing. Like,
yeah, they're really not.
I guess their big threat comes if they happen to reduce you to 0. Like, I guess they're supposed to attack in numbers, like, and,
I still wanted to count
22 fucking HP. I one-shotted it. One punch!
One swing!
Yeah, one swing, yeah.
But I still wish I had a jar and just made a lantern out of it.
Yeah. Do they need air? They're undead. So, I'm thinking not. They're resistant to a lot, I think.
Hey DM, can I have a will-o-wisp in a jar?
Hopefully the 4 wardrobes. It would be hilarious if we did them in order, and it was like easy, harder, hardest, harder, easy. It would be hilarious. It's just like, Maybe. Who's that maybe to? Is that maybe to me or to him? Her. Is it to which girl is it to? What is the truth, Tyler?
He just goes, I'd be laughing.
For Bros Lantern. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be neat. You just have a will-o-wisp lantern. The will-o-wisp. Can will-o-wisp pass through solid objects?
Not this one.
It's just like, yeah, you can have a lantern. It's not gonna be a lantern for very long.
100%. So what I need to do is I need to get Monty to cast magic circle.
Magic circle permanently so that it can't leave the jar.
So it can't leave the jar.
Nice. So, yeah.
Will-o-wisp.
Anyway, so that was what happened. That's what you missed on D&D. So, yeah, so that is, that's what happened. Who's? Oh, that's outside. So next, this is gonna be a thing every Saturday that there's D&D. I will come back on Sunday and I will tell you what happened because it's hugely entertaining. And then, Bahamut worshiper. Does Bahamut care about the undead? Does he? Does he really? I mean, I know the Raven Queen would be kind of upset because she's like, why aren't you killing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Paylor might be upset.
Yeah, who can say? But yeah, so every Saturday that there's D&D, Sunday I will be here talking about it and talking about my week, which is gonna be shit, but that's fine. I was like, it'll be like, I woke up, I went to work, I came home, I fell asleep. You know? But that paycheck, though.
Alright.
Anyway, so, alright, so I will, 3 to 5, wow.
I really gotta brush up on my module.
Wow, really?
Hey, DM, are you gonna join us? You join us for the heist?
Yeah, Catherine wants to know if you're gonna join us for the heist.
The heist?
Come on, you know you wanna.
Heist? It's a van. And all of a sudden it just says 1.
Aw.
Oh.
It's just viewer count 1. It's me. It's because I have it open on in the background. Well,
that's fine.
In any case, we'll figure it out. 3 to 5 sessions. Wow, we are very near the end. We're all gonna die. Only artists will make it out alive. Don't touch my face. Don't touch my face. Anyway. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go because I'm gonna spend the rest of the day playing Dragon Age probably, and then editing some videos and doing some stuff. And I will be back next Sunday, and I will change the schedule to reflect that, because I will absolutely not be streaming during the week. It's very unlikely that I'll be doing any editing during the week, so there will be nothing to do as a premiere either. So alright. So anyway, thanks for stopping by, whoever stopped by. That's Catherine in the background. And I'll see you next week.